Hey everybody, Wolf here. So the video you're about to watch was from Unicoi Gap to Dix Creek Gap, and it was right before Winter Storm Fern came through the East Coast area. So enjoy the video, stay tuned to the end, and then I'm going to come back and talk about some things and make an announcement. But I really enjoyed this section of hike. It's some of the toughest section of trails, toughest section of the AT you run into at first, in my opinion. Tray Mountain and the dreaded Kelly's Knob. But enjoy, and I'll see you back at the end. Hey, good morning everybody, Wolfie here. It is Thursday, January 22nd. I just got dropped off at Unicoi Gap. Going to do from here to Dix Creek today, which is like 16.7. That winter storm, I keep checking the weather report, and it looks like it's even less now. Going to be a rain and snow event down this way. I looked at both AT weather and Pixel weather, Google weather, and it looks like between here and Franklin it's going to range anywhere from 1.5 to 3 inches of snow, maybe. So, not too worried about that. But got to put some miles on. Got some people to catch up to. But we'll see how today goes. I'm going to do this 16 something, and then go back to the Green Dragon for one more night. And then after that, head to Winding Stair Gap. But as you can see, it's really foggy, sort of raining. But going to climb out of Unicoi. I got like a Tray Mountain standing indent. And of course, the dreaded Kelly's Knob. So, 3 big climbs today. But it's like 7:20. Not even officially sunrise yet. All right. I'm gonna get some miles in. First icy spot of the trail. And why I do have micro spikes, you don't take them on and off or something like that. So I made it to the top of Rocky Mountain. It's about 1.5 miles. Did it in less than 40 minutes, which that's not bad considering it's just a steady climb up to the top. So the next mountain's Tray Mountain. I'd show you a view, but on camera you're not going to see anything. Everything's socked in today so far this morning. Not sure if it's going to clear up or not. I think the high today is supposed to be like 50 degrees. I'm sweating. It's a little bit windy and cold when I started this morning, but I've already started to unzip. That's one reason I switched out for this Rainier hoodie from Bergeron Outdoors. I before I was wearing their Apex 120 fleece, and it just got too hot in the midday, and I hate to stop when I hike, so I didn't take it off, and I overheated a couple times. But at least this one I can unzip and kind of temperature regulate. And if I need to, I can take it off without taking my backpack off too. But yeah, so I've got some downhill. I'll make up some time, increase my pace a little bit, and I'll turn you guys around so you can see what I'm seeing right now. So I want to give a shout out too. There is a guy, I'll put a link and put something up on screen if I remember, but his name is Drew Boyson, DREWBOYSON. That's his YouTube channel. But he started a southbound hike. It looks like around the first of the year. He didn't get, from watching his first video that just came out yesterday or early this morning, he didn't actually say what day he started. But yeah, definitely show, if you're a subscriber of mine, go out and show him some love and subscribe to his channel too, because he was going up Katahdin and snow and ice after he checked in with the ranger station. But yeah, definitely show him some love. So I've been hiking for about an hour, and average pace is a little over 2, but the sun is definitely trying to burn the fog off. And it's warmed up. What temperature is it? It is 40 degrees and 92% humidity. Ooh. So this is the cheese factory site. It's a well-known camping area here. I begin my final ascent, 1.5 miles to the top of Tray Mountain. There's supposed to be a view where you can see the top of Tray Mountain further up here, but I don't think I'm going to see anything today. Maybe. It's trying to blow off. It's still 40 degrees, but it's now like 58% humidity instead of the 92 it was this morning. So here's my view. Here's the top of Tray Mountain. Got about a mile to go, and it's sleeting right now. See if you can hear it coming down through the trees. My thermometer says it's 39 degrees, but I might have it a little bit too close to my body to get a good temperature. I'm gonna have to find someplace else to move my thermometer. But yeah, hopefully I'll be there by 10 o'clock, which is like a half hour away. So here's the viewpoint. And to be honest with you, I've seen it come in and out of the fog already in like the last 2 minutes since I recorded the last video. But you can definitely see. I think when I'm going to get up there, I'm going to grab a bite to eat So I'm almost made it to the top of Tree Mountain, but I wanted to show you the view back towards the west, back towards Hiawassee. It's dropped to from 40 down to 36 degrees. It's been sleeting off and on. Wind picked up too. I had to actually put my gloves back on. But beautiful. On up the tray. And here comes the sleet again. I'm moving my thermometer further away from my body so it's more accurate now. But I can definitely tell just on my skin that the temperature's dropped quite a bit. So I think it's pretty accurate where it's at now. So this is the summit of Tree Mountain. I was able to do a quick live up here just to give everybody an update of where I'm at. But yeah, it's been sleeting off and on. I think actually, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but there's a few flakes of snow. It is currently 37 degrees, 94% humidity. Don't forget my glove. Grab my trekking poles. I came from that way, and I go through the laurel there. I actually need to stop and grab something to eat. Donna at the Green Hostel, she wanted to make sure I had breakfast, and I told her I wasn't a breakfast person. So she made me a breakfast sandwich and insisted that I pack it out with me so I could eat it on the trail. So I'll be eating that here shortly. That's the view back towards Hiawassee. It is definitely fogged in down there this morning. But yeah, it's just now 10 o'clock. So I'm at it's my second climb of the day. Rocky Mountain followed by Tree Mountain. And I think I've got, I'll have to look how far out. Let me put a screenshot of what I've got left for the day. Ooh, some definitely steep down. So I'm up here. This is Tree Mountain shelter area. Shelter's back that way with the water. AT goes this way. That's the view off towards the east. You can definitely see the fog and the clouds in the valley. Kind of hard to see it on camera though. So this was the gentleman that pulled me off trail when I got hurt last year. What was your trail name again?
Spotter.
Spotter. That's right, yep. Spotter. I remember. Yeah, he took me off at Hemlock, right?
Yep.
Like at 297, something like that. But
yep.
It's kind of strange running into you today.
Yeah, I thought you were farther up trail.
No, I played poker.
Oh, okay.
I played in a huge poker tournament.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I got 8th place out of 1,070 people.
Nice.
It was profitable.
Nice. Pay for your trip.
Pay for most of my hike, yeah.
All right.
Later, Spotter.
Yeah, have a good one.
So it's noon, and I went 9.3 miles in about 4.5 hours. So I'm making a good pace. I think I'll get finished before dark today. The next big climb, of course, is Kelly's Knob, the Dirty Kelly's Knob. I've still yet to complete eating the sandwich that Donna provided me. So what I'm going to do is stop at Adidas Gap, which is at the base of Kelly's Knob. I'm going to finish eating. There's a shelter there. I think if it's not too far off trail, I'll go to the shelter and take a break, eat my sandwich. and get some sugar, other types of sugar in me. Snickers bar probably, which will be Snickers bar number 2, I think. I don't know, I have to go back and look. And if I don't need it, I'll let you know, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to. But anyway, yeah. So, what I would recommend for the people that are behind me, that's like their first time long distance hiking, I would actually recommend going from like Dick's. And if you have the legs for it, there's other campsites between, Unicoi Gap. I'm heading to Dick's Creek Gap, but there's a lot of the campsites between here and Unicoi Gap. But I would recommend, if you can make it, to go to the Adidas Gap, spend the night there, and start with fresh legs up Kelly's Knob. And what's so bad about Kelly's Knob? I mean, the other 2 climbs were longer climbs, but what's bad about Kelly's Knob? It's no switchbacks. It's practically straight up. So, on a side note, on several side notes, I know the hike so far this year seems a lot easier to me. I know when I got to Trey's Gap Shelter last year, I was exhausted. I needed water already, and I couldn't wait to just go to that shelter and sit down and take a break, and I walked right past it this time. My legs still feel strong. I think as a precaution tomorrow, though, I'm going to tape up my left knee. I do feel a little bit of twinge on the inside of my knee, so I'll use some KT tape and tape it up. Another thing to note is last year I recognized it after I passed Spotter. There's a place in the trail where I actually stopped and did a video call home last year, and my daughter told me she was pregnant, and of course now my grandson is now 5.5 months old, and he is definitely a papa's boy. He's a mama's boy and a papa's boy. And so I took the time there to video call her just so I could see Wookie, my 5-year-old granddaughter. Was out of school today because of ice on the roads back home. And to see Xavier, who, until he gets more of a personality, I call Tadpole. But yeah, so we'll see you down the trail. I'll show you Adidas Gap when I get there. Later. So this is Sassafras Gap. This would be one of the places that I would pull up short of Kelly's Knob and stay. Several campsites here. I think there's water here also. So definitely a possibility. I think it's like 10 miles, 10.5 miles in, maybe a little bit more. I'd have to check and far out to be sure. Haven't looked at it much today. Okay, this is a DS Gap. It's a tenting site here. There's places for 5 or 6 tents, and there's water like a half mile that way, it says. And that right there starts the dreaded climb to Kelly's Knob. It's 1 mile, and you gain 810 feet of elevation. Doesn't look too bad right there, but it's definitely steep, and when you get closer to the top. So I'm gonna go up here to the fire ring and eat the rest of this monster sandwich, and then rest my legs a little bit and hit Kelly's Knob. So here's what people don't tell you about Kelly's Knob. So Addie's Gap back there, you do a little climb, and your first thought, oh, this isn't so bad. Well, that's not the beginning. You actually drop down, and then you actually see the steep part of the climb. And then you get to this area here, and it's fairly steep. As you can tell, I didn't stop, but I am out of breath. And this is like a false summit. But then you look there, and then that's the true torture right there. Let me turn around and I'll show you. Yeah, so you hit this little false summit here. Don't get your hopes up, because you still got all that to climb. And I would say, you know, it's not the toughest mile on the AT. That honor is way further north. But I would say this is your first tough mile of the AT. For me, it seems a lot easier than last year. But again, I came to the AT with trail legs already, so take it with a grain of salt. Definitely recommend everybody pulling up short of Kelly's Knob. Since you'll probably be getting off at Dix Creek Gap anyway, pull up short, start Kelly Knob with fresh legs. So after Kelly's Knob, you got one more mountain to climb, and compared to what you've already done, it is just a PUD. For those of you who don't know trail speak, PUD means pointless up and down. It's only like a 400-foot elevation change, and it's a dual peak. So you hit the first peak, you go down a little bit, and you come up the peak. But this is what they call Powell Mountain Vista. It's a little ways off trail. I was out to it last year. And if it's your first time through, definitely go take a look. But it reminded me of when I went out to the Vista last time. I met a day hiker who had came up from Dix Creek Gap, the trailhead, and he was hiking with his dog, which is nothing unusual, except this dog was a Chihuahua Wire Terrier mix, really tiny dog. And I hiked down with the gentleman and the dog, and for the most part, I let them be in front of me, because I was just enthralled watching this little tiny dog hike down off this mountain into Dix Creek. Looking back, you know, while the dog, you know, just to give the dog its due, I mean, it did a great job, and it was amazing watching this small dog go down. But it just, looking back, I just realized that part of my impression of that dog at the time was colored because I was so wore out and tired by the time I got this far. Which is, today's different. I actually feel really good after doing, you know, 15 and a half miles or so. But yeah. As my hike is about to end for the day, thank you for giving me the strength to make it up the many climbs. Thank you for guiding my feet and giving me sure-footedness along the trail. And thank you for giving me the health to do this hike. Amen. Lonely bench in the woods. I could see a person sitting here and contemplating life for just a little bit. That stream had a lot more water in it last year. Carmet Cascade, or Carmen's Cascade. Carmen's. Okay, enough. There's people waiting on me at the bottom. Gotta go. So Dix Creek Gap. Definitely remember that descent being a lot harder last year. This is at 69.7. I think I started at 52.4 or something like that. But this is where I'll start tomorrow too. Going up that. There's my ride. It's Bill. So, yeah, I really enjoyed that section of hike. But let's talk about, as you can see, I'm not on trail. I'm in my office at the moment. So let's talk about getting off trail for Winter Storm Fern. Had big forecast. It was changing every 3 or 4 hours, the forecast, and I was down in Hiawassee, Georgia, in that area, and I had my vehicle with me, which I have a 4-wheel drive truck, so I wasn't really worried about roads or the weather down there. I was equipped to go out for the cold, but I got off trail not because of the weather in that area, because the weather back home, and feeling guilty about leaving me and my wife to deal with that weather. So in the Middle Ohio Valley, at the time when I left to come home, they were calling for 13 inches of snow, followed by several days of lows in the negative digits, negative Fahrenheit. And so now it's a week after Winter Storm Fern, and they're still calling for temperatures below zero. So my birthday was Thursday, and I was making plans to come back to the trail. I was going to meet up with Subman and Prepper and that gang, and I was going to jump up to the Smokies and then come back and do from Dix Creek to the Fontana Dam. Some other time I've already done that section of trail, so I know I could blow through it pretty fast at my hiking speed. But I wanted to hike with them, or maybe hike some parts of the trails that I haven't seen before. But when I got home and I was talking about going back out to the trail, and the weather was still bad here. I mean, the side roads here are nothing but packed ice. They haven't really done anything to them because of the freezing temperatures. They really can't, because nothing they will do will really melt the ice except for the sun hitting the dark spots. But I digress. So I could see it when I was making my plans to go back to the trail. I could see it in my wife's face. And my wife, bless her, she knows, to put it in her words, is I've been the most unselfish family man for the last 28 years that we've been together. And she would never tell me that I can't go hiking. But with that being said, I know she really needs me at home. And and if you're a married person or have a dedicated partner, or you have some type of family back home, you have to kind of be selfish in order to hike the AT, because it takes not only you're out there doing it, yeah, but it takes a toll on your family. And I can't, at this point in time, with other stuff that's going on with here at home, and my wife needing my support, I can't, what was I going to say? I just can't bring myself to be that selfish. She would be okay with me being that selfish, but I'm not okay with me being that way.
I'm not stopping hiking the trail. Don't get me wrong. I still plan on trying to complete it this year. I'm just not sure how that hike's going to turn out to be. I may go and hike some sections of it on long weekends, and get 60, 70 miles in at a time, and then maybe turn into Sobo later in the year. I've got other things that I have to do that I've already had planned anyway. One of the big things for me is February 13th was coming up, not Valentine's Day, but February 13th was coming up, and it's a Friday the 13th. And my wife and I first became a couple on February 13th, Friday, February 13th, 28 years ago. So we don't do Valentine's Day. We do Friday the 13th. And for me, and I'm hoping for her, this Friday the 13th of February is a big year. It's 28 years. So I don't want to disappoint anybody. There'll be other content coming on this channel related to hiking. So stick around if you would. I will be back on the AT. I just don't know when right now. And I'm not sure where I'll pick up. I may pick up at mile 297 where I got hurt last year, just because it'll be new trail to me and new sights to see. To be honest with you, that I covered a lot of miles in 4 days of hiking, but I'd seen it all before. So it was just about covering the miles for me. There's some fantastic views, but nothing really grabbed me again. That would probably be different in a few places in the Smokies. Charlie's Bunyan would probably be a good one I would like to go do again, and I probably will. I'm going to try to, do it all in a calendar year, whether it's this year, next year, or whatever. But, it's a lot of, I think the key thing about an AT hike is you need to stay as flexible as possible in how you do your hike. So with that being said, please stay tuned for more. I've got some stuff I've got to do for the Allegheny Trail too, so if you would, help that channel out. I help host their podcast, or their channel, and it really needs subscribers. So I'll put on screen here, it's at Allegheny Trail on YouTube. Hopefully there'll be some more stuff coming on it soon, since I won't be on trail and I can dedicate some more time to that. Let's see, what else is there? Yeah. I got some new equipment that I thought I ordered from one company and actually got it from a different company. So I'm gonna, it's kind of minor stuff. And I'm hoping to go up and go toward Hilltop Packs area. I'm actually interested in getting one of their custom, they have a new 50-liter bag that I want to take a look at, and I've watched their videos, but I actually want to, since it's close by, close as in being an hour and a half, 2 hours away from where I live, I want to go up and meet them and see about getting, not, when by custom bag, I mean like they do their food bags. I want to get, a custom printed backpack that kind of tells what, I'm about and what I'm interested in. So with that being said, please stick around. This is Wolfie, TTFN, ta-ta for now.